Hey Antwan, this is Adrian Gomez with 212 Athlete. Thanks for sending in the video and being a part of our online program. And so we're going to look real quick at your back leg. This is a back leg squat weakness. Right now you're at 115, so we've got to get you to sit further back, so your hips are going to go backwards this way. And as you go forward, you're not really sitting in this direction, and it's going to be harder for you to rotate your hips open. So, and at the same time, you're not getting quite the power that you need to be able to drive with your back leg. So back leg squat definitely needs to improve. It needs to be below 110 degrees, so minimum 5-degree decrease with your back leg going down. Basically what you're going to do is you're going to squat better into that back leg, and we're going to measure it again and measure for improvement. So the next movement is out of plant leg, and right here, video cuts off a little bit, but I can get it. 101. So you're actually pretty flexible, which is a positive. You wouldn't believe the inflexibility that I see consistently. So you are quite flexible, and 101 is good, but I wanted to get to 110 degrees. So I believe that you could step a lot further than you are. I believe you're I think your dad said 6'5", so you should be striding minimum 6'5". I was about 3 or 4 inches taller. I'm 6'2", so I was like 6'6", 6'7", as far as my stride. So I'd like you to push, and you're going to be able to push harder once you start squatting better. So they all kind of influence each other. So 101, needed to get it to 110, so double leg extension at plant foot. We're going to measure this. 131 degrees. It's not bad. And let's look at, you can see, you know, I can't really see everything right now, but you can see that your leg doesn't come through right here. It stays at this angle, and it doesn't come back. So I would like this front knee to come backwards in this direction, and that's going to help push the chest through. So you can see it here. You drive into that front leg, and it doesn't collapse, it doesn't retract back, and that's what we really need. So front knee needs to work. Let's look at your lower half as you plant right there. Your knee looks pretty good. There's a little bit of a movement, so you land internally a little bit, and the knee moves a tad. So I don't want that front knee to move, because what happens, or I want it to move as the least possible. So that hip is going to come through faster if your front knee doesn't move. And when that happens, you're going to throw harder. I mean, it is what it is. That's what happens. So let's look at. So that's the lower half. Front knee, back leg, good extension. Those things you do pretty well. So now let's get into launch. And I can't quite see the launch, but so chest extension. Let's move into the chest extension, because I can't see where your release point is. And right now, let's measure off this back hip up to your chest. It seems like you have a good chest extension, which is what we want, and this is what we have, like a triple extension here with your leg, chest, and your arm together. You're doing a really good job. Good triple extension. Looks pretty dang good right there. So let's get into the front side. I think your front glove right here can pinch and go in this direction more when your shoulder blade doesn't really pinch. It just kind of stays there. It's firm, but it doesn't get to that pinch, and that's going to help rotate this back side. If that front shoulder's pinched, then this chest is going to rotate a lot better. Because right now you're actually two or three frames in, your chest doesn't drive. Now it drives right after you throw the ball, and I should see chest rotation and chest drive into release point a little bit further. You're going to get more power. So that needs to be fixed. The front glove needs to be fixed. Firm front glove. I think you need to be more more of a pinch in your shoulder blade. That's going to help you rotate. As far as your elbow, let's look at this. This is what we call a high elbow, and I don't think you have a high elbow, which is fabulous. But as you come here, you load. Let's look at this elbow from this side. You load into here, and the elbow's low right there. And then as it pops up, it keeps coming up, and you're not rotating your chest. And that's what you've got to get better at, to get across that body earlier and faster. But your elbow's a little bit low here. I'd like to have it up pinched better. So both of your shoulder blades need to pinch in a better position. You're going to get that from the bands and the heavy balls. Should help you solidify that shoulder blade as you go into drive. But it really comes down to pinching well. You're pinching pretty well there, but it's just a little bit too low. So let's go into stacking. This is a stacking or acromial line. So again, this back knee needs to be bent further, and the knee is going to come in towards your foot, and your upper body is going to come back. And that you're not getting that. You're not getting that load out of your back leg, and your upper body's not loading back as well as it should to be able to collect the energy and then throw. Because right here, right when you're about to throw, you're throwing with almost all arm. And we want to save that for once you plant, then everything's driving through. And that's something you don't do as well as you could. And once you start doing this, driving with that chest and getting across your body, it's going to be a game changer for you. But we've got to load. That loading phase is so crucial, and you'll learn that from the online video. Go onto your website or 212athlete.com and log in, and it'll be your stacking. Those are all the drills that work on stacking and get that upper body back. Basically, this head needs to be over that rubber as long as possible, going into that back drive. The back foot rotates really well. You're doing a really good job of that. So that looks fabulous. Moving into forearm fly out, and let's look at this. I don't think you have one because I saw it a little bit earlier, but let's look at how far back. So you're right here. You're laying back, and I don't think you have as good external rotation as you should, which means that your arm is rotating back. This is externally rotated backwards like this. Okay, so that's external rotation, and I think you could get more with the bands and with the heavy balls, and I think that's going to help increase velocity as well. But as you throw the ball, your hand almost goes straight. And I'd like to draw, or your elbow goes straight, and I would like to get your chest to drive faster so that your elbow can stay bent and get across your body. You're doing a good job of pushing all of that energy into your shoulder blade, which is awesome. But I don't think you have a forearm fly out. So to recap, things that you got to fix. Better squat out of the back leg. And you can also look at this. I just saw this again. So this foot is pointing this way. I'd like your foot to point in, so your toes are inside, so that your knee can come in the right direction and be stacked on itself. Looks pretty good though. Your balance is pretty damn good. Okay, so back leg definitely needs work. Okay, to squat and just squatting in general. That could be like squatting with weights and getting in the right position, learning how to squat better. That's going to help. Extension, you're about 110 at plant foot, and then front knee, it's too low, so too low of an angle. It's too low of an angle. So we've got to get that front knee to come back. So this way back, knees coming back, and then the chest is going over. Your chest extension was pretty good, okay, but the front glove needs to work, okay, and chest drive needs to be a little bit better and quicker. And stacking needs to work. So that's about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 things. I would say about 5 miles an hour. Next year you should gain with just the mechanics, doing the bands and the weighted ball system consistently with the 6-week program, and you'll have access to the 12-week program as well. All of that together, I think you're going to be in a good position to increase quite a bit. As we get up towards the upper 80s, it gets harder and harder, and we're going to have to keep looking and analyzing this. So thanks for being a part of 212 Athlete in our online program, and we will talk to you soon.